1, 0, and we're live. Hey guys, welcome to the show. Welcome to Full Tilt Esports Psychology. We're your hosts, Adu and Mike. And today we are joined by Mr. Nick Hernandez. Before we get started though, I gotta ask you, Mike, are you tilted?
I'm tilted. Nick, are you tilted?
We're tilted.
We're
Let's
fully
go.
tilted. All right, boys. So today is February the 16th on 2022. We got a beautiful podcast ahead of you. We got plenty of questions to ask Mr. Nick here. And so we're basically going to jump right into it. But before we do have to say, find us. We are now on Apple Podcasts. We are also on Spotify. So thanks for you guys' patience on getting letting us get on there. And again, many thanks for liking, subscribing, following, and turning on those notifications, everything like that, on all our socials, everywhere we find us, right? So thanks so much for supporting us, and we're really doing what we want to be doing here with our pod. So much appreciated. All right, so Mike, who do we have today?
We have young Nick Hernandez, one of the dullest Viking legends for my high school. He came a little bit after me, but he's a good friend of my younger brother. He has some notoriety to his name, a pitcher that kind of tore it up on the mound. He was a 2021 Astros organizational all-star. He was also pitcher of the year for the Corpus Christi Hooks.
Yeah.
And young Nick, you got anything else you want to add to this intro, my boy?
No, let's get it started.
All right. So, first thing that we want to, of course, we're thankful that you came on. The first thing I wanted to get out for everybody, I did mention you're a pitcher, right? For our audience who are like gamers and also like maybe other athletes too, but like, can you explain to us what being a pitcher is like?
Being a pitcher is all about execution. So you're given a ball and you're trying to execute quality pitches, and nothing else matters. Like. It's not like hitting where you're kind of just reacting to whatever the pitcher throws at you. It's more I got this task and I'm trying to execute this task, and there is pressure involved.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of pitching is mental.
Yeah, so I guess kind of like what you're saying, right, is like you're the one initiating the action, right? And then like, the batters are the ones reacting, right? So that's kind of badass for you. So you're the one that is like you're the one, if you're doing a two-step, right, you're the one taking the lead right there, right? And then the other people are following your steps. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Yeah. So I guess some of the questions that we wanted to ask you about being a pitcher is like what's your favorite feeling? What's the best part about being a pitcher? What would you say?
Striking someone out probably.
Hey,
Okay.
Just like, or striking out the side in an inning. It's kind of like just like totally dominating,
Gotcha.
but also executing a pitch to your like the pitch type to the location that you wanted,
Right.
and it doing
Exactly.
having the movement, velocity, whatever you were trying to do, and
Right.
commanding it and doing all of that and executing it. That's a good feeling too.
So, like, when you said that, it made me think of like mechanically, you to do all these things, especially. So sometimes you're able to like speed. It's easier to speed up, I think. But do you ever? Because I don't know how much baseball goes, like the heights and level differences. But when you want to slow down on purpose, is that ever something you would choose to do? Like you slow down your pitch at your level, or is that like something that only works at lower levels?
So, do you mean slowing down like the velocity?
Yeah, the velocity. Sorry.
Yeah. So if you're throwing an off-speed pitch, then you have a grip. So I'm a baseball, but so a fastball is like a four-seam grip, and It's like
Okay.
the best grip to get behind the baseball to apply the most force to the
Right.
baseball.
Like optimal,
Okay.
right?
The changeup is you have the grip and you could throw that same arm speed as hard as you can, just like you do on your fastball. The grip is what decreases the speed on it. You don't have to slow anything down. Same with like curveballs and sliders. Since you're throwing like a slider, for instance, you're throwing the side of the ball. You're
Hmm.
not completely behind the baseball. So since you're not completely behind the baseball, you're not applying the most force possible. You're kind of spinning it on the side and getting a different type of spin that results in a slower speed.
Hmm. Okay.
Interesting.
Okay. So, but if you were to go for your fastball, you ain't taking anything off of it, right?
No,
You're
I'm
throwing
not
that.
doing the thing eat.
What do they clock you at? What do they clock you at? What's your top?
I actually threw a little harder in college.
Oh,
I
really?
threw,
Oh.
but we're gonna get back there soon.
Hell
Like,
yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's what I like to hear.
I'm 27, but we're gonna get back there.
Got you.
That's what I'm
Got you.
talking
I
about.
love it.
But I bet
Yeah,
you.
my hardest was, I think the hardest I ever hit on a radar gun is 96.
Sheesh. That's a
That is
big one.
crazy.
You want to get around that.
You got flames
Uh,
coming out from behind it and everything, like the smoke trail. You break the
I think
sonic
it was
boom.
just me. I think it was just like, dude, in college you see like, this is in junior college too.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
There's like 20 scouts behind the stand, so you see them raise their radar gun. You're just
Right.
like,
Ha!
I'm about to rip this.
I'm about
my
to
time
rip
to show
something.
what I got. You
Yeah,
know, so
right,
you got that adrenaline and just
Hell
it
yeah.
just helps a lot with Velo.
Propelling you, yeah. Okay, that's really badass. So, like we were talking about sort of a few of like the teams you were playing for, but I guess we were like wondering about which ones specifically. I think you said the Corpus, or was it the Corpus Christi Hooks, right? And then also the Houston Astros, right? I had a question for you. Why? And I asked this to Gally before because he was been on some of these teams, but why are the names of minor league teams absolutely so goofy? Those things are just like funny out there.
Trash
Yeah,
pandas,
There's some,
etc.
there's some crazy ones out there. I don't know. Just it's always been like that.
That's
It's
how it
usually
is.
minor league teams are usually like in smaller towns,
Mhm.
like. But
Yeah.
yeah, there's been some crazy names and some
Yes, sir.
ends of small towns and all that stuff.
Do you imagine? Okay, like, so keep that thought in mind. Like, all these crazy names, right? What if you were playing Fortnite, right? And someone came on with like some uniform of like one of those minor league teams, like Trash Pandas. We got the I forgot, Portland Hops or something like that. I forget. Like Gally was telling us there was like
Yeah.
some brewery. Yo, that's actually kind of cool. But if I imagine someone playing Fortnite or something and they roll up like that, I'd be like shocked. I'd be like, what's happening right now?
Yeah, and there's so many skins now in that game.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna
Yep,
say.
yep.
Is like I don't think Fortnite would have any problem with this because they're the ones that are like pioneered the sellout game. All right, they are like up and away out there. You've got like Marvel characters next to DC characters, next to Disney characters, next to Universal characters, next to Warner Bros. Characters. They got everything out there. What would it be just to add a few more minor league teams in there, or like to sponsor minor league teams or something, right? In
They
esports.
should just put like Nick Hernandez jersey
Nick
on
Hernandez
it, so
jerseys, why not?
our guy
Well,
could
that's-
get some money there.
That's where we're heading to.
Hey,
Let's go.
With the NFTs,
Yeah.
like
uh-huh.
Yeah.
like players with like their cards, like it's all gonna be
Oh.
through like just like the concept of NFTs, like
Okay.
Listen, man, would you give me the rights to your Nick Hernandez NFT, please? I would love to have that for my collection. How about that?
yeah,
You'll think about it.
we're not there yet.
We're
with,
not there yet.
with like all that with we're still in like the what is it, like Bored Apes, all that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
You gotta
boy.
slowly get there, right?
Yeah.
Everyone has to make their money somehow.
Actually, Topps does have some baseball cards, but it's mainly like Mike
Topps.
Trout, Bryce Harper.
Right, for
Topps
the NFTs.
baseball cards.
Yeah,
yeah,
okay.
they just started that.
Well, there you go. Got to jump in the game like as soon as you can. I guess Topps even knows that, huh?
Yeah.
So I got a different question now. What conditions can actually affect your performance? And you could if it or also if there was a different condition that used to affect your performance, like in high school or college, but now you've like grown out of it, or like you're just so past that condition affecting you. You could even say that,
Conditions.
like whether it be bad weather or something too, if or
Yeah.
mentally, I don't know.
Like road versus home games, or like like whether you're getting enough rest, like you sleep well, or you're traveling, things like that.
Um, the rest thing does. It's sometimes it gets to your head, but you can't let it. Like, there's so many external stuff that happens that
Mhm.
you kind of at like now I don't let it get to me, but
Yeah.
in the
Mhm.
past, like you just go through experience. Like I remember, like sophomore year of high school, pitching in my first playoff game, like in front of a huge crowd.
Hmm.
That external factor, I let it get to me,
Did
and then you get over it. You learn from it. You know,
Yeah.
you just
Mhm.
experience, and then once you recognize it's just like external, you're like, oh, that has nothing to do with me executing quality pitches, which is the only thing that matters.
Right.
Hmm.
You're kind of like you you block it out or whatever you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, like getting less rest is going to affect you physically, but there's ways to overcome it. You know?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So like, I mean, I guess what would you say, like, because like in this, from like a psychological perspective, how are you able to sort of like, I guess, compartmentalize that, like kind of separate your personal execution versus like external factors, right? Like, what do you do? Do you like put like mental blinders on, like you don't see anything going on in the sides, or like how do you like focus
Yeah,
past?
that's exactly it. It's simple. It's just focus, but it's easier said than done.
Yeah,
But it's
right.
like it's a skill. You do it over and over again, you get better at it.
So just repetition, right?
Repetition. That's all. That's the name of the game. Name of anything. You know.
Yeah,
No, I
I
feel
can
that.
definitely agree with that.
Of
Yeah.
course, pitching though, repetition. Like you only got one arm.
Mhm. You gotta
So-
take care of that arm.
Exactly. You want to do enough to build that skill and get
Yes.
better, but you also don't want to overdo it to
Overdo
where
it,
you're
yeah.
working against yourself and hurting yourself. You know?
Yeah, so there's like a sort of optimal amount that you can get to, and then you're like after that, it's like diminishing returns or even negative, right? Like I guess that makes sense, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha. So
Oh,
yeah, go ahead,
what's real quick? So playing on road games never affected you ever, ever.
No, there's some places like you pitch good the first time you go there, and you're like,
Uh-huh.
oh, I'm back. I'm gonna pitch
Yeah.
good. I
Oh.
love this.
Okay.
Then there's those other places like I have one place. It's in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
There you go.
And
Okay.
well, not anymore. Next time if I ever, I'm probably never gonna throw there again. But if I ever do, I'm gonna do well.
Okay.
But I tell myself that. But I've had 2 bad outings there.
Oh man.
Like,
Huh.
you don't want to go back there, you know.
I
But
feel
you got to
you.
psych yourself out.
Hey,
Tell-
but
yeah,
three's the lucky number, right?
3-3.
Yeah,
You're gonna strike him out on the third one.
You definitely want to throw at the places that you're comfortable at because
No,
you're gonna
totally.
be more confident.
Yeah.
But you also can't let that stuff get to you. You know, you
No,
gotta
yeah.
do whatever you gotta do to psych yourself out or have confidence or
What do you do to psych yourself out to build confidence? What is it that like you can do to help yourself? Like what is your mental exercise there? Like pregame, what are you like thinking? Do you like pump up the music?
Call
What do
your
you-
wife, like, hey babe, I'm about to kill it, or something like that.
nah, no.
Take a
Dude,
few
there's a
tequila
lot of things
shots.
I do. I have no, absolutely not. I drink a lot of black coffee.
Oh, see, there you go. Coffee.
Okay.
Yeah, honestly, it honestly just like gets my mood, like gets the good vibes going. You know,
Yeah.
music definitely helps, and it's like not all music works for me. Like I like listen to it gets me like.
What's on your
brings out
playlist? What's on
that
your playlist?
animal. It's old Travis Scott.
Oh, there you go.
Old Travis Scott, not new Travis Scott.
Hey,
old
H-Town
Travis.
represent. H-Town represent. Real quick,
Like
yeah.
Owl Pharaoh, like kind of like a little dark
Shoot.
Travis Scott, you know?
Okay,
Well,
okay.
like Travis Scott when he was underground. Is that what you're trying to?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I feel that. All
What
right.
else? I have like pitching notes
Oh.
Mm.
on my phone, just a ton of notes.
Hmm.
Just going through them, like all my cues, just
Mhm.
like
Like
gives me
reviewing it.
confidence. Gives me confidence to like say, all right, all I have to do is this to execute this pitch. Like,
Hmm.
Hmm.
why am I worried about this? external factor when all I got to do is this with my fingers to execute fastball to this location.
Right.
Mhm.
I really like that you mentioned like the execution. Like you keep emphasizing execution, and then just now when you mentioned the notes, because that's like something that in volleyball sometimes I forget to do. Like it's just like say like, oh, I need to actually throw one of my arms up so I can like target the ball better, or like some mechanical thing that you would mention. Like all I have to do is just like remember this, and I'll do it. Right.
Yeah, like you're going through your mind and you're telling yourself like all these other things like,
Yeah.
oh, like I don't know, something that doesn't matter at all with you having to hit the volleyball
Mm-hmm.
a certain way. When you go back into your notes, a lot of people take notes, but they don't go back and look at them.
Mm.
I see.
That's one of the key things. Like, and that gives you that extra confidence. I mean, confidence is everything. Just knowing what to do to execute.
I like that.
That's some real stuff right there. That's what I needed to hear. But maybe I'll start like hitting my serve like you throw your pitches, brother.
Yeah, just take a little notes, and then right before your game, your volleyball game, just
Mm-hmm.
go over a little bit and go remember them.
You know what's in Nick's notes right now? It just says "win the game." Let's yeah.
Ooh.
Too broad.
Too broad. All right.
Win the
Fair
pitch.
enough.
Whoa!
Win the pitch.
Each pitch is a battle, and in every battle adds up to the war, right?
Exactly,
There we
exactly,
go. That's a
One
lot
pitch at
better.
a time.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
that's you're talking about it right now. Like that's one
Yeah.
pitch at a time. That's
Yes, sir.
present moment. Be in the present moment. You
Mhm.
can't think about the future. You gotta think about now. You know.
One step at a time. I like that a lot. I think that can actually apply to, well, a metric crap ton of anything that we do in life, right? I suppose, right? Like, it seems like like a big mountain to climb unless like you say like, well, every step of the way is like one part of it, right? So, yeah,
What
I
about
like
that? If you picture yourself playing either Fortnite or COD, because I know those are the games you like to play. And to our viewers who don't know, this guy is a COD guy and a Fortnite guy running around getting top tens, right? How do you take that? How do you take that moment to moment that you just mentioned in the sports, and then apply it to, like, let's say, a video game?
Yeah, this is the magic question.
Love it.
Honestly, like the video games would be more like hitting because you're kind of reacting.
Okay,
There's so
Okay.
many things that can happen in a Fortnite game or a COD game.
fair.
Right.
But one, your main thing's got to be like focus.
Okay.
Maybe like a plan.
Mhm.
So like your usual plan. Like for instance, like if you're playing Fortnite, like what's like the best spot to land at that
Exactly.
you
Right. Yeah.
the best chance to get the dub, you know?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And you have that preset in your mind, like, all right, I'm gonna land here, I'm gonna go here. Oh, if I meet a guy there, like I'm gonna kill him.
Mhm.
Like
Moment to
same
moment.
with COD. But I think yeah, for video games, if you can just focus and react faster than everyone, like you have the advantage.
True. And then like I think the part when you mentioned planning, like if you have like a solid plan, or you just like repetitioned it enough, right? Like where you can adapt to whichever situation based off your plan, right? Then you'll be fine more
Yeah.
often than not.
Right. And a lot of it's what war games. So
Yeah.
I know just from like watching like Jocko and stuff, like
Oh.
you never panic. So if you're getting, someone shooting at you or whatever in COD or whatever, like you gotta
Like composure, right? Like maintaining your
exactly,
composure.
right.
Yeah. Okay. So
Like-
like yeah,
yeah, like
bullets are flying your way, right?
It's gonna hit the fan.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
How are you gonna react?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We used to have a guy, U of H. His name is Brian Kane. I don't know if you ever heard of him, but he's like a peak performance mental coach, and they used to pay him just tons of money to come in. Every D1, LSU, TCU, all these baseball programs would pay him to come in, and he had like an equation. It was like air plus response equals outcome. So
Okay.
E plus R equals outcome.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that's I mean that's life, right? You know,
True. Right.
bad stuff's gonna happen. How are you gonna respond?
Yeah, absolutely. And so like having that composure to like survive like bullets flying in all the time, right? And that's your error, right? Like the bullets coming your way, it's like, whoa, I may not have planned for this, but then your response, right, is like, I'm gonna build a wall in Fortnite, or I'm gonna like slide into cover if I'm in COD or something, right? Like,
Yeah,
right? Like so having that ability to like just like, you know, be like, okay, fine, something unexpected happened. How can we adapt to this on the fly without like absolutely just crashing mentally, right? Like it's just shattering mentally. Be like, okay, like we can still overcome this, right? Like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense actually. I like that a lot. Awesome.
yeah, and yeah, that's where repetition comes in because when you're getting shot at or something, like you're like your response got to be all right. I've been here before. Like,
Yeah,
what do I do now?
yeah, it makes 100%
Like,
sense. Cool,
mm.
man.
And like
Okay.
guys like Ninja,
Yeah, yeah,
he just that guy just instincts
yeah. Well, let me
so
ask you.
quick, so
Let me
fast.
ask you, Nick. Are you? How's
I haven't
your?
watched Ninja in a long time. I used to watch Ninja when I was into Fortnite
Yeah,
heavy. I
yeah.
had a lot of time to play. Like I would watch Ninja, but I don't know what the who the streamers are now. I know.
Yeah, these days Fortnite has kind of like taken a little bit of a decline, right, in popularity. But I mean, it's still a cool game. There's like still people out there repping it and playing it. So like, yeah, like I used to watch a bit of Ninja too every once in a while. But yeah, like you're absolutely right about how like just reacting to things that don't go your way is like really super important. So I guess my quick question to you though is like, so what is your thing in Fortnite? Are you like a really good builder? Is that how you cranking 90s out there, just like building walls and ramps
No,
and
I get on Fortnite now and I'm getting clapped by some 8-year-old.
Oh no.
I know that
Hey,
feeling,
me
man.
too, me too, me too.
It's not even fun anymore.
Man, we got to move aside for the next generation. That's all I gotta say, man. These kids out here, they're built different, man. They're built coming out of the womb, building effing planks and walls and shit. Anyway, so I wanted to ask you a question here. So this is like something that we've loved to ask a lot of our competitors here so far. Like because in terms of psych and like like it relates to like the pressures of everything. Mentally, how do you cope with the stresses, like within the game, or like outside the game? Like what are like any mental exercises that you do? What is your go-to de-stressor? Like any of these things?
I think one big thing about stress is like your perspective on it.
Yeah.
A lot of people think stress is a bad thing.
Okay.
I think stress could make you. I mean, it's stress will make you stronger.
Pressure builds diamonds.
Exactly. Like it's just like working out. You break down your muscles, you put stress on them, and then you let them recover.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
I think it's all the same thing. I think once you have a good perspective on it, then you can only go up from there. Um,
I like
but
that.
like dealing with stress, you got to. I like to embrace like, all right, like when I'm gonna pitch, it's gonna be stressful. Um, just embrace like if you better be mentally drained by the end of this outing.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then you left it all on the line, right?
Yeah.
Like
Exactly,
you
yeah.
did everything to compete, right?
Exactly. Like you feel way better about yourself when you are mentally drained. You competed, 'cause- and that's with pitching too. I forgot to mention this. It was
Yeah.
like pitching. Most like 80% of the time, you're not gonna be able to execute pitches the way you want to. You're not gonna have all your stuff.
Yeah.
Your curveball might not be there that night. Your fastball velo might not be there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're gonna have a lot of adversity, but you got to compete with whatever you got.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Yep.
that's just the way it is,
So
unless you're certain guys.
True.
fair enough. When you were mentioning the different balls, like basically your weapons that you have that night, right?
Yep. they're
And
welcome.
yeah, so like if one of the weapons, okay, there's two parts of this kind of that I always wondered is if one of the weapons you can't use, right? But also you have a statistically favorite weapon, like let's say yours is your fastball or whichever throw you have, right? Do you play into that if one of those options are gone? And then they know you like to throw this ball in this spot, kind of. I don't know. I don't know if baseball gets to that level or whatever.
Yeah, it It does. I mean, throwing what the hitter's looking for, though, it most of the time it doesn't work out
Okay.
well for the pitcher. Usually you have more than one weapon,
Right.
unless like Mario. I don't know if you ever know about Mariano Rivera. He was a closer, and he threw one pitch his whole career for 15, 20 years, and he was successful doing it. It was a cutter, which is a fastball that moves, and everyone knew in the ballpark what was coming, and he dominated with it.
Wow.
He was a closer too, and that's high pressure. They only put him in high pressure situations.
Right. That's like a pinch server in volleyball. Damn, that's fucking crazy.
Like, but yeah, usually I have more than one weapon. So, but there's nights where I'm like, that pitch is just really good, and I'll just go, all right, here it is, like hit it. Can't hit it. Like,
Yeah.
you know?
All of y'all can't do it. Deal with me. If y'all can deal with it, then then I'll think about something.
I know it sounds cocky, but like you gotta be cocky, like on that mound. Like,
Let me ask you.
at least in your own mind. You know?
Yeah, right.
You don't
So
have to be
we're
cocky with other people, but
we haven't
Yeah,
really
yeah,
done
yeah.
an episode on this or anything yet, but I'm sure this would be a great idea to go over this with you. Where's the line between confidence and overconfidence for you, Nick? There's no line. That's what he's about to say.
no, there is.
There's a line. Okay.
Honestly, just like if I'm doing dumb stuff, like throwing a certain pitch in a certain count that I shouldn't be doing. You know.
I see. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm sure probably.
When I think cocky, I think Conor McGregor. Y'all ever,
Yeah.
do you ever like watch videos on him, like
Yeah.
his interviews? He's really good on the mind though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's one of the richest athletes. I mean, he's successful. He's gotten cocky over the years.
Yeah.
But
So you're
I mean,
you're telling me you don't walk up to the mound doing the shoulder little swagger walk all the way up there? You know, you're not doing your.
I haven't got to that point.
No.
yet, but
Okay. Well, I think you should try it next time. And shout outs to us when you do it. All right.
All right, give me an idea.
Appreciate you.
With that, I also wanted to ask. I guess when you see you've gone through high school, college, and then pros and minors, basically, right? What separates the different level of competitors, in your opinion? Like, what makes it to each? Actually, can you go through like from high school to like college and then say that? Because like it could be like just purely talent for high school to college, but then it starts changing, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of things. One of them is mainly like size. Like as you go up, everyone gets bigger, stronger, faster. Pitching, I mean, you get away with way more mistakes in high school. I mean, the strike zone's way bigger.
Okay.
College is, college is definitely better than high school. I mean,
Would it have been like, I don't know if this is it, but like just sometimes like knowing yourself or knowing your opponents, I guess like scouting basically.
you definitely do more scouting in pro ball. We didn't do any scouting in college. You just show up and
I see.
with high school.
Okay.
You definitely get to know yourself more as you go up. Like in college, in high school, I didn't know like who I was as a pitcher. I didn't even know if I was a hitter or a pitcher. I was doing both. College, I think my junior year is when I really figured out like what kind of pitcher I was. And I was like, all right, I'm going with this. I'm going to repeat it, and it worked. And then kept going after that. And yeah, in pro ball, same thing. And yeah, you gotta know who you are, and that goes with gaming too. Like what your
Gotcha.
style is, you know.
Yes.
You can't let anyone. You definitely want to take constructive criticism about like, but like, I look at it like every big leaguer, at some point in their career, they were told like, yeah, that's not going to work in the big leagues, and then they go to the big leagues and dominate with that style. Like you can't let anyone tell you like your style until it actually doesn't work. You know, you actually like fail with it over and over again. There's just so many ways, you know, so many styles, and And that goes the same for gaming. Like
Yeah.
your favorite streamer has a totally different style than the other one. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm sure those streamers embrace who they are, and then they perfect it and master that.
And what if they're groundbreaking, right? Like, so what if that is their style? No one's ever done it before. Everybody's telling them, hey, like, this isn't going to work, right? Like, this isn't going to work. This isn't going to work at the pro level. And then they go out there and they're like, well, it keeps working. So why don't I keep doing it, right? Like, so, like, I guess, like, you can't really push any boundaries unless, like, you're willing to, like, say, hey, like, this is working for me. Let's keep going with it, I guess, right? I guess that can occur too. That makes a lot of sense. So then
Yeah,
I guess
exactly.
like self-awareness, right? Identity, and then like curving into like your strengths and your style. I guess that makes a lot of sense too. Kind of knowing where you belong, sort of, right? Like what sort of thing you want to try to show people, right? Like, yeah, that makes sense.
Exactly.
Cool.
I also had something else. I think we talked a little bit about this with Gally, but so there's like different breathing practices, or did you read any different books that like, or even listen to different podcasts that really helped you become the athlete that you are now, I guess.
Um, I've always known about the breathing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted something a little like better, like stronger, kind of. I know Gally was in the breathing stuff because I know he's with the Diamondbacks, and I know they're all about that breathing, which is good. And especially like a lot of people don't believe in it until they actually do it and try it out because it does like clear your mind. I've always liked the like feeling my feet to the ground.
Oh,
It really,
saying connected to like getting earthed. I think that's what it was called.
Grounded, right?
Grounded. That's what it was. Yeah.
Earth.
yeah, not like going barefoot walking. I'm sure that works though, but like more just like it's kind of resets your mind, to feel. But I also like the bioenergetics. I don't know if you ever heard of that. I just like it's like
Educate us. Educate us.
Yeah, educate us.
one of them was like a lot of it's stretching and just warming up. That'll get the job done, but a lot of it's too is like there's one that I would love doing when I was in the bullpen right before I was about to come in like a big situation. Like the close that would just like it would loosen me up. It would get me into like a like an animalistic like state to just like go out
Flow
and
state.
compete.
Uh-huh.
It was like it's jumping up and down and like letting my heels stomp on the ground. It like vibrates my body like a lot, and I feel like that helps get all that, just get my body prepared for like just prepared for war.
So you're like
Yeah.
jolting your body repeatedly through like those heel stomps, right? Like just like
Yeah,
getting
I
it
look
all
like
the way throughout your body.
Look like a psycho doing it. But
Everybody in the dugout's like, "What the hell are you doing, Nick?" You're just like, "I'm
Well,
going out there."
You know what helps, and you might call me crazy for this is.
I
And
won't.
I talked to a lot of guys. A lot of guys like doing it. Is we call it pull trig.
What?
Pull trig.
Pull trig. It's when you. It's when you. And this is a bullpen thing. It's when you're in the bullpen and you throw up on purpose.
What?
Whoa.
But when you throw up, it does something like physically, like your throat. Like you ever throw up and your throat you can breathe better.
I don't know. Let me go try it right now.
I'm trying to remember.
It's kind of like have you ever felt like you had dust in your throat?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, yeah.
It's like
You're like getting rid of all of that.
not throw up like a lot. It's just like just a little bit.
My
But
God.
yeah, we call it pull trig.
Pull trig.
Why?
I'm learning a lot of things from you.
Oh, pull the
Yeah.
trigger. Oh my God, that's crazy. I've never even heard of that. I have heard.
I don't know how that would work with gaming if you're like super nervous. And not, it might just be nerves and you're actually throwing up. But dude, every time I do it, I feel way better and I pitch better.
Yeah. Did it ever? I mean, like, did it ever happen? I don't know, on quote unquote on accident, or like if you were just like stressed, like like were you just what did you do it on purpose, like to get it?
No, it's never just been like I just threw up right there. It's just like it usually like is like all right, my throat's feeling kind of like close off.
Yeah.
I think if I go to the corner and pull trig real quick,
Yeah.
I'll breathe better and I'll feel better and I'll be ready.
Really? Yeah. I mean, like, look. So, I mean, everybody here probably has had too good of a night drinking, right? And then you like, you pull trig, and then like after that, I mean, I know I felt better, but like,
Feel clear.
I mean that
Yeah.
if that's what you're doing to like feel better on like, in a competitive setting, I guess it
Yeah,
makes
it's
sense,
not it's
right?
not like it's not like a stomach thing, but
Yeah.
the point is it's like you can't be embarrassed by it and
Yeah.
it helps you breathe better. And
Yeah,
when we
okay.
talk about breathing,
You're right.
breathing is everything with
I was
like competing and
That
all
is really interesting.
For sure. I also was thinking like maybe, that one moment you're like kind of like shocking. Both the two things you both mentioned, I was thinking, and both of them you're kind of shocking your body. And then it's like one is like you're waking the feet to the ground kind of slamming. It's kind of like you're waking up your body saying, "Hey, it's about that time." The other one is semi similar, but it's kind of like it's like you're expelling the demons, and then it's like
Yeah.
you're like loosening up now. So it's just like, all right, I got rid of all whatever I didn't need, and now we got everything we do need.
I
You know
think
what I'm saying?
basically how I would phrase it was this for the pull trig, like tension release, right? Like just
Yep,
tension
exactly.
release, and then like a feeling of like relief afterwards, right? Like I mean maybe like there's anything holding you back, right? And then like if you like it's just like that's like your say like either there's like a mental aspect to it, right, or an emotional aspect to it, but like the physiological aspect to it is like your body is like really is purging, right, like getting rid of anything that may be like causing any kind of like any toxins, anything like that's what vomiting's for, right? So like from like a physiological perspective, it is like literally like tension release, right? Like any kind of like toxin release, tension release. So you're like really just getting it out, right? Like and then like you go out there and then you're ready, right? Like there's nothing else holding you back like physically, right? And then maybe even emotionally and then like mentally you're good to go. I guess that I don't know. I mean, none of those are ever separate from each other, right?
Yeah, and that's I mean, what you guys are describing is like waking up the nervous system.
Yeah.
That's
Fair.
something to look in. I'm pretty sure that plays a huge part in gaming. Your nervous system is everything. Like if your nervous system's shot, you're gonna be slower. You're gonna react way slower
Yeah.
and all that.
Dude, I like this, but
Another
maybe.
thing, yeah,
Oh, go ahead. No,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
go
yeah,
ahead.
go.
for pitching and like physical, like sometimes I remember like my hardest times the times I've thrown the hardest, I did like some type of nervous system like shock that morning.
Really? Okay.
So like I don't know, something like really explosive in the weight room,
Mm.
like sprinting, anything that will wake up your nervous system. So we call it PAP.
Okay.
I think I forgot what it stands for, but it's called PAP, and that's the acronym. Basically, doing something like 6 to 8 hours before you perform, and your nervous system will be that much better. So, like for instance, going and slamming a med ball as hard as you can into the ground, like just nothing too much, but just enough to wake up the nervous system for that night.
Wow. Okay, so I haven't heard that.
There's ways to really fire up your nervous system.
Yeah. So I just googled it. So the term is post-activation potentiation, otherwise known as PAP.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, so it simply refers to an acute excitation of the neuromuscular system following some sort of exercise. For example, 5 RM back squat. It must be noted that the conditioning exercise must be biomechanically similar to the performance activity.
Bioenergetics? What?
Biomechanically similar. So basically, you're doing something like a similar motion that would be analogous to what you're like similar to what you were doing, like what you're preparing to do, right? So like I guess you're right. If you're doing full sprints, you may be doing that when you're like base running or something, right? Like I don't know, or stealing bases, right? That might be something that could like be like very similar. I don't know where like medicine ball throwing, you like maybe you're activating your shoulders or whatever. And obviously you're going to be using those prior to like explosively. You're probably going to be doing that for throwing too when you're pitching out there.
Yeah, anything explosive, and that would work for gaming. I mean, think about how better your mind works if you like, I don't know, do a workout.
Yeah, for sure.
They go together, body and mind. They go together.
Honestly,
Really,
I
dude.
think
Gamers
before,
got to be working out. They
yeah.
gotta put their physical work in
No,
too.
I 100% agree, and I would think that maybe even you might see like, I mean, we'd have to do studies of this or whatever, but like you would probably see performance increases, like probably market performance increases, if like a gamer per se went into the weight room. Who knows? I don't know. Like our perception of gamers aren't necessarily that they're like physically active or anything, but I think that can totally change, especially with the way that we're thinking about this, right? Like, what if they go into the weight room at like 6 a.m., 7 a.m. of the day of a tournament, right? And then maybe they're just like activating their neuromuscular system or like doing some kind of like like nervous system exercises to try to get themselves like really fired up prior to their game, even if it's not totally related. At least they're like awake or ready or whatever it is that pap does for them. What would you think?
I think that's great. I think you got to find the best routine. Like some guys don't want to wake up at 7.
True.
Some guys need their sleep.
Yeah, person to person though, right?
Or you can take a nap after that.
Yeah.
You definitely don't want to be tired.
Yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
right?
You wanna find that perfect routine that fits best for you. Like like everyone's different.
Yeah. So you
But yeah,
customize it to
that doing
individuals.
something physical will definitely help, especially if it like I don't know if it like it keeps your levels like your whatever your, as a male if it keeps your testosterone level
Yeah.
because that plays a huge role in competitiveness.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like,
I mean,
all that stuff.
a lot of there's actually I don't know how good they are actually, but or how consistent they are, but I have seen like some of the pro, I don't know if you know the game, but League of Legends, like they have some sports psychologists that have been working with these teams now in the pro level, and they do try to get them to like go to the gym every so often. And I don't know if they've started applying PAP, uh, but like just getting the, I do believe that once you start like getting used to your body like being more active, it kind of innately makes you want to be more healthy, right? So then like you're probably going to try to maybe get more rest to recover, right?
Right.
You're going to like just doing cardio stuff already like starts helping your cardiovascular and your lungs, right? So like you can breathe, you can breathe better, right? And then who knows, maybe they start doing the other things that you mentioned and maybe their performances do increase. Maybe you're onto something, Nick. Maybe we also have to hire you in the future when we start our esport university. You and Gally can
Professor
maybe
Nick.
be the professors.
I'll write some programs.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
that's not in diet. Like you gotta have that brain fuel.
Yep,
Like
for sure.
whatever diets like you don't want to be all carved out, like eating pizza, just eating foggy.
Shout out
I never-
nutritionist. Shout out nutritionist. Mike, shout out, shout out.
Oh yeah, yo,
Yeah,
Nick's
yeah, I
older
forgot.
brother, young Connor. Yo, we're gonna have him on in the future. He was my personal trainer at one point. Also studied a lot of nutrition, so look out for that episode. Nick, you better see that episode later. Support your bro. But yeah, dude, we have a lot of interesting people coming on. We got the PT, OT, I said, the personal trainer slash nutritionist, and look out for all that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That'll be awesome. So, Nick, I had a question for you. Moving on to sort of like like psychological support, right, in the team setting. I think pre-pod we were discussing that the Astros have a team psychologist and maybe even two of them, like you had said. I don't even know. Was that correct?
Yep.
Yeah. And so, have you been able to tap into that resources, any of those resources or that type of resource? And like if you were in esports, would you think that would be like, obviously, would you think that would be something that could apply to?
Yeah, absolutely. Um, Definitely you would have to find ways to relate with gamers. I mean, so they would come up with all types of things. We would have meetings like all the time, especially during spring training
Okay.
with the mental coaches. We would do like all types of like sometimes we would do like play games, just like stuff that like we would do putting sometimes like golf putting
Cool.
stuff that like and then like go over like how it relates like to baseball. What else would we do? Watching videos like just all kinds of stuff. They would just they would just brainstorm on any type of way that will give us a mental edge. 'Cause that's a huge thing. It's mental, like anything that gives you a mental edge is just it goes a long way. Like when I'm on the mountain and I have something that gives me that mental edge, like that 1%,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
it's a game of inches at this point. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
everyone's good. Like who
Yeah.
has that one edge, you know?
Yeah.
The mental edge, the mindset, mentality, confidence, right? That's what gives you that 1% that makes you different from the rest, right?
Yeah, like, and that's I'm relating to gaming, like a pro tournament. Everyone's
Mhm.
good.
Yeah.
It's not who's the best gamer.
Mhm.
It's who performs the best at that tournament
No,
is gonna win.
yeah. So again, back to what you said, execution on the big stage, right? Like that just at the end of the day, like you were saying, well, one headshot at a time, one pitch at a time, one curveball at a time, one short pass at a time, whatever it takes to get you there, right? Like that makes sense. That's awesome.
It's control what you can control
Gotcha. Okay.
and block out all the noise, block out all the external factors, and the person who focuses on the task at hand the best,
Mhm.
who's been there the most, that's being there often.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's the experience of being on the big stage. I mean, you just
Yeah.
get more comfortable being uncomfortable.
What's like the most interesting thing that your team psychologist made you do? Like maybe we don't have to talk about all of the things, but what's the most interesting thing that maybe helped you the most? I don't know.
Trying to think.
Yeah, take your time.
Oh, there's one thing we had to do. We had to do something really uncomfortable,
Oh no.
just in front of all of our teammates, and basically embarrass yourself. And
Mm.
like I think we had to draw like a card or draw a straw or something,
Okay.
and whoever lost had to do something. I think I drew the shortest stick, and I had to rap and do a flow in front of everyone.
What? You tell me you're not a professional rapper?
Yeah, I
Come
thought you were a
on.
Travis Scott
Yeah.
fan, bro.
Come on.
I had some bars.
There you go. See, what's up?
Let's go.
But yeah, the point behind it though is to do something hard, do something that you're not used to,
Uncomfortable, right?
uncomfortable.
Out of your
Yeah.
comfort zone.
Get out of your comfort zone. So I mean, that's one thing I think I've experienced with this helped me a lot was just dealing with adversity, like anything business, like with because business with baseball is so
Sure.
cutthroat.
Right.
You got to be mentally tough, like be able to handle anything that comes at you.
Yes, sir.
There's guys that release all time.
Mm-hmm.
One thing is it's just like a lot of people overlook physical activity and working out as like just for the body.
Mm-hmm.
You can, if you're sitting there like, yeah, you can train your mind working out. If you're doing stuff that's challenging, stuff that you don't want to do, stuff that sucks,
Yeah.
stuff that shout out David Goggins. I mean, I don't know if you ever heard of him.
Yeah. Isn't that the Navy SEAL dude or whatever?
Yeah, I read his
Oh,
book
yeah.
and he talks about it. And I mean, once you do it, you understand. Like, it definitely makes you mentally tough, and that goes with sports psychology.
Like
I don't care.
pushing the boundaries of comfort, right? Like, or not even comfort, but like being okay with something, right? Like, yeah. That's
Yeah,
insane.
exactly. Like you build those calluses like on your mind, like just like you have calluses on your hand,
Yes.
they get tougher. You build
Yeah.
those calluses on your mind, challenging it every day, often, whatever day, or every other day, whatever you do.
I am too soft.
Huh?
I am too soft. You got to build some
Nah.
calluses.
No calluses. Oh god. But all right, young Nick. I was also wondering, do you follow competitive esports too much or not really?
I follow what?
Competitive esports, like the pro scene for esports.
I do not. I
Okay.
mean, I've only watched streamers a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, then let me get into that part then. So because Gally, we talked with him about the difference between like maybe a streamer, right? Or oh no, okay, I can actually put it in perspective for you. So let's put a streamer is equivalent to like some of these YouTube stars that do baseball or like trick shots or whatever for whichever sport, right? and that has its own pressure, right? Because you got to get views, etc., all that stuff, right? But then now, like the pro gamers are like you and the rest of the pros. Like, how? I guess. Do you think there is a very big difference in the types of pressure, or do you think it's kind of like equal pressure? I guess.
Between pro gamers and like a streamer who's just like playing around.
Yeah, there you go. Or, I mean, streamers got to be good to like get their views, right? But that I guess that is basically what I'm trying to get at.
I mean, as streamer, he's just trying to entertain, right?
Okay, yeah, that's true.
But they also have to live up to their name. Like,
Yeah.
they got there because they're good. So there's also
Yeah.
pressure that they gotta like. So some rando comes and kills them.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
What?
then viewers are gonna be questioning like, "Oh, this guy's trash." Like,
Fair enough.
no, but I think the competitive, like the tournaments, that's a different ballgame. Because like it doesn't matter. Like you could be good on stream, but you gotta be good at this tournament when the
Right.
pressure's on. It's a different stage.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't a different stage though. That's
Yeah.
what you got to remember. If you're the player, you gotta say,
Mhm.
"Oh, it's the same game.
It's the same game. Yeah.
the same game." Just like I'm playing the
Like
same.
that.
I'm playing in the playoffs in the big leagues. You do
Mhm.
your same routine,
Mm-hmm.
everything's the same. You're just gonna have a little more adrenaline, and you gotta find ways to tame that. Whatever you gotta
Mhm.
do. So like a gamers tournament, it's the same game. You're playing the same game. You're doing your whatever you gotta do to win.
Yeah. No, I like that a lot, to be honest, because like sometimes, I like I don't know if you play like Call of Duty or when you play Fortnite, right? Once you start getting to that top 10 area or whatever, or like in COD, like you're on a streak and you want to like hit the higher streaks or something, right? Like you got to keep telling yourself it's just like like another moment by moment, right? So it's just I'm gonna take this moment where it is, and I'm gonna go to the next thing, right?
Exactly. Like you gotta focus at the task at hand. The money, the prize money, that stuff not gonna help you win.
True.
Like thinking about that, like no, you gotta think about, all right, I gotta put on my shield or whatever, like task at hand, focus.
Right. So take on the micro stuff first, and then the macro stuff will sort of appear, and then like maybe like you're doing it for something, or like your goal is something, but like doing the small thing, like every individual action leads to like the final product, right? So yeah.
Exactly. Like you can't be thinking about like what I'm gonna do after the game. Like,
Yeah. Right. Because the game ain't decided yet, right? Like it ain't decided
Exactly.
yet.
That is for sure.
And so that makes a lot of sense to me. That's an excellent perspective. Thank you very much for that. So I just wanted to talk about something like a little bit more offhand, but like in preparation for this, I know that Gally had advised us to go watch like Moneyball and Screwball, and then the one do you remember the documentary the documentary with Doc, the one that pitched the perfect, I think it was the perfect game on LSD or something.
LSD.
Yeah, right. So everybody knows about that in pro baseball.
crazy.
I'm
That was a
not
different
like,
time.
yeah. I was about to say, he said the exact same thing. He was like, man, it was a different time. So like,
They weren't just on LSD. They were like, back then they called them greenies.
yeah, that's what he said.
It was basically Adderall.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, so so he had like a lot of suggestions to like get into the sport, and like I got really interested in it, so I decided to go watch Moneyball. It's something that I was like really interested in because like I don't know, like coming from like a science background, and everything like that, So I guess for the viewers there that haven't seen it, and I'm sure, have you seen it, Nick? Moneyball?
Yeah, I've seen all three of those.
Yeah, there you go. See, so and that's his job. He has to go do it, right? So, but you guys, it's not your job, but you should go do it anyway. So Moneyball, the idea behind it is that it's based on sabermetrics pioneered by Bill James, and it was adopted in this movie by Billy Beane with the Oakland A's. And so they wanted to use like concepts in economics. Basically, they were saying this: the Oakland A's had a small wallet, right? They were not able to go out and purchase players or like buy contracts for players that were like in comparison to say the New York Yankees. They literally had like 3 or 4 times less the budget than the A's had, right? Or the Yankees had. So the A's had to go out there and get like really cost efficient players, right? Analytics, using concepts of economics and like basically statistics to basically change the game, right? And so I guess my question to you would be, Nick, and I know maybe like I don't maybe like you're not necessarily involved in the team building aspect of that, but like how do you use analytics or statistics when you're in there? Like do you like say like this pitcher this hitter likes to hits this pitch like better this amount of percentage of times or something like that? Are you aware of these kind of things going into it?
Yeah, we can go down the rabbit hole with this one.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I the Astros we're like the leading organization for all data driven
brains, brother.
Brains. And we'll hire pitching coaches who've never played before.
Wow.
And
Incredible.
just like are very good with analyzing data and some of them aren't very good at translating, but most of them they do a really good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I'm thankful for being with the Astros because I've been with them since 2016. So I've throughout the years that's about when they started. That's about when they started data driven, like all that stuff using technology.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if you ever heard of TrackMan. They use it in golf. They started using that in baseball.
Okay.
And yeah, like I've learned a lot. Like I'll be talking to other pitchers like my age and telling about and they have no idea what I'm talking about.
Insane.
With pitch development, all that stuff. And it's very good. It's definitely because it takes the guessing out of baseball.
Hey, there you go. Okay, I like that.
So I could be working on a pitch all year long in the off season, and show up to spring training, throw it on the TrackMan that tells me how I'm spinning it, how many RPMs, spin axis, the vertical break, the horizontal break, all that stuff, and it be, hey, this isn't gonna play. So if I'm not using that technology to analyze the pitch in the very beginning, then I'm just wasting my time, wasting those reps, working on the pitch. So it definitely plays a huge part. And
that's amazing. Okay.
Yeah, I could talk about this forever, but it's definitely very helpful. But I also think you want to have both.
Yeah. Okay.
So you want to have the guys
with the feel for it, the instincts for it, the intuition for it,
instincts, the primitive instincts. You know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Having both of them is is ideal.
Yeah, and then having the brains to be like, hey, look at these numbers. This is how we should be. Yeah, the optimal way to play.
You need someone to be able to take that data.
Yeah.
And all the stats too with hitters. So say this hitter, he destroys low and inside fastballs.
Okay.
But he can't hit low and away fastballs or high and away fastballs. So all the data comes together and it shows me like a heat map on where to throw the ball to that guy.
Look at you with your mental heat map. There you go.
Exactly. My job is just to study that map, memorize it, and say, all right, for that guy, just don't throw the ball there, and I'll be fine. And so that's why
that's incredible.
It's so helpful.
That's incredible.
I love it. I love it.
Wow.
But I think a lot of guys too, they try to they kind of pitch to cater to those analytics and lose themselves in the process. And
it's too cold. There's too much data. It's too cold. It's not the real situation.
Yeah, you want to find that perfect balance.
Balance. There you go.
That comes with a lot of game awareness, to be honest, right?
Yeah, of course. Right. Yeah. Right. Gotta be.
Yeah, I'm thankful to be because I know both sides now. I definitely can't write some algorithms and write some code but you can show me like TrackMan data and
but you damn well know the results of it, right? Like you know what's the best way to do it, right? Like you don't have to have written the effing equation. You just have to be able to follow it for sure, right? Like and that's just the way it goes with it, right? Like it comes down to execution at the end of the day. But like having that pocket of your knowledge is like it's just another weapon, I guess, right?
Yeah, and it's good to know too because I get pitching lessons.
Yeah,
And
there
I
you
have a
go.
rap,
All right.
and I have a Rapsodo. Rapsodo is like a cheaper version of TrackMan,
Okay.
and it shows up on the iPad the pitch and all that stuff, and I can translate all that data to the pitcher and tell
That's
him like
amazing.
what his strengths are, what he needs to work on, and yeah,
That's crazy. So
I see
basically,
a
what
lot of guys who
you're telling me you could teach me how to pitch, right? Like that's what you're trying to tell me.
I don't know about that.
Oh shit!
You can try. You never know.
I was
That's
hoping I
true.
could.
That's fair. That's
I,
fair.
I was hoping I could
Quick
break into the
one.
big leagues at age 30, you know, but
All right. So another question we had is like, because Gally mentioned like these days, man, for pitchers, like there's sometimes on different teams they got like multiple people throwing 100-mile fastballs or like speeds, basically.
Yeah, I wish I knew these guys.
I mean, everybody has their strengths, right? You know your strengths, right? I was gonna say like, is that like the development of what the baseball pitching meta is going toward? It's just like pure speed. Are we losing out on some of the like how do I say it? I'm not a baseball guy, but like the variety, like being able to like fool somebody or like play the mind games, right?
So one of the ways that we were talking about is kind of like this cold data thing, right? Like we were just talking about. And I hope, you know, being a Houston guy, are you a Rockets fan? Are you?
I watch them sometimes.
Yeah, right. So like they're under like
Everyone else.
yeah, like so you know this era is gone, but there was like the Morey ball era, right? Like the whole Daryl Morey era with James Harden and stuff, right? Where they like curved into this idea that 3-pointers are often always worth more than 2-pointers, right? So like the idea behind that whole basketball NBA thing was like, why don't we just shoot a whole bunch of threes, get a whole bunch of free throws, right? Basically reduce it down to like the most efficient parts of the game analytically, right? And then get the players at the cost efficient levels to build a team that way, right? So based on this, like there's a sort of like meta developing. I don't, you know, like like a meta, right? Like
Metaverse.
yeah, metaverse, but like a meta that develops just like in video games, just like in like sports. Like there's a way to play that is the most optimal or efficient, and then other teams and players will adopt that method, right? So then I don't know, like so in your opinion, is there like a meta shift? Like should you see like there being like a correlation in games or like in like baseball or whatever? Like what kind of like things can you see in maybe both of these that are like meta like changes? Like what do you think?
Oh, yeah, Charlie Horse.
You hate to see it.
Ah, we're good.
Tense conversation.
Yeah. So the baseball,
Yeah.
it's definitely it's definitely because everyone tries to hit home runs now. You know,
Okay.
don't hit the ball on the ground. Hit home runs.
Fair enough.
Are gonna strike out a lot. Pitching is a little different.
Okay.
Especially like spin kind of counters that. Spinning the ball well counters that. Like breaking stuff. Velo will always play, but there's definitely to the scouting part, the data driven stuff is really good for scouting because you
Right.
can have a guy throwing 98 miles per hour, but I mean it's not a very good 98. It's like flat.
I see.
The vertical break isn't high. It runs right into barrels, you know? And then you have a guy who's throwing like 93 or 94, but he's got hop.
I see.
A lot of teams are taking the guy that's throwing 93, 94 with a lot of hop or vertical break or whatever you want to call it over the guy. Back in the day, though, they would take the 98 guy every time. And they didn't know when they were guessing, you know? But like you said, the meta part, the game is heading. Baseball right now is big ball, like home runs, and I mean it.
Gotcha.
It also sells too. Like you don't want to see a game with a bunch of ground balls. You want to see guys hitting bombs.
Yeah, you want to see dunks and 3-pointers. You want to see home runs. You want to see grand slams. You want to see Hail Marys. You want to see the big plays, right? Like that's kind of like where it's going.
Yeah, and a lot of people think they were juicing the balls, which
Oh shit.
probably were. I mean. Juicing the balls, like making them a little harder so they travel further and harder.
Deflate gate.
Better exit velo, and that's what sells tickets. You know, you guys remember the Astros Dodgers World Series?
Which wait, wait, how long
2017.
ago? 17, yeah.
2017.
Okay, yeah.
I'm pretty sure they juiced the balls for that World Series, and there's people that I knew never watched baseball. They were loving the game, and they were really just locked in on that World Series because there's so many home runs.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Dang. So, hmm. In this, in this way, would you say like that was kind of like good for the game? Because I know it's like okay, like in football, the Deflategate, like while Tom Brady was there in Patriots, right? It was like compromise. It's not like there was entertainment value that got better. It's like they could win. They could maybe improve their chance at winning, right? But in this scenario where you said like the balls are juiced for like both sides and they're just hitting
Yeah,
more
both
home
sides,
runs,
yeah.
they were just hitting more home runs in general. Do you think that was like good for? I don't know how to even say this, but like good for
Good
the
for the
game.
game, quote
Yeah, I
unquote.
think it's great for the game
Yeah, okay.
just because more home runs. I mean, it sucks to
Mhm.
get pitcher doing it, but you don't want it. Also, when you juice those balls, they're a little harder. Once they get harder, they're a little
Huh.
slicker.
Okay.
So if you're a pitcher, if you don't have any grip of the ball, like you could hurt someone, like you could.
Mm.
So you also got to put that in perspective too. Like
So-
So you had to get used to like throwing juiced balls in a sense, if it were you.
yeah,
So-
they're pretty slick.
I guess like so I'm more of an NBA watcher. Sorry, I like baseball, but I don't watch it so much. But so I watch a lot of basketball, and like the way that the meta has been developing in that game is it's like all offense, and like the defense has like a really hard time to adapt because like everybody kind of like quote unquote likes offense more is more interesting, right? But like so like there's like a defender's disadvantage now, right? Like you touch somebody and it's a foul, right? Or like I guess for the pitchers, like if there's juiced balls, then it's like, well, shit, we might be throwing homers left and right on accident, right? Like, just which wouldn't be a
Yeah.
been before, right?
Yeah, and getting a home run hit off you, it sucks. It's
Oh,
just like
man.
just a
That worst feeling.
dagger to absolute dagger to your ego.
Ooh,
So yeah, you definitely got to be mentally tough for
I would
give up some home.
love to stop you right there and talk a little bit more about that. And I know that kind of sucks, but say you get like a homer hit on you or whatever, right? Like, how do you recover from that? Like, it burns, right? So you're just like, yeah. What do you do?
I kind of just allow myself to motherfuck myself a little bit on the mound.
Yeah,
And then you got to reset and you got to say, so what, next pitch? Like,
I got.
so what, next pitch?
That's
Like,
strong. That's strong.
you're still out there. Like
Yep.
you still got to compete
Yep.
and finish the inning.
Yep.
Like no one's going to come out there and save you. That's why I think
Yep.
pitching is great for the mental because it's like that mound, it's just you and you're out there alone. No one's going to come save you. You
Well,
better compete.
So allow yourself to cry for a second, and then just say like, no one's coming to save you. You got to finish this, right? Like, go back up there, right? Yeah. Okay. So
I think that's what I think pitching teaches some good life lessons because I remember
sheesh.
Yeah, I remember back in like when I was like 12 years old pitching, just getting my teeth kicked in out there and
Oof.
feeling sorry for myself, and then having my dad like teach me like you got to compete, like you can't feel sorry for, and then you just learn how to grow. You grow out of it, like, and that happens with life. Like you're gonna get your teeth kicked in, like how you react.
Yeah.
That's fair.
There you go.
You know, actually, now that you mentioned your dad, I was gonna say maybe he can kind of like agree with this comment or this quote. Is talent you make bloom, instincts you polish. Okay, and like in my opinion, like maybe you were more talented at the high, like early on, like for sure at the high school level, right? But as you said, everybody starts becoming the same. Like everyone's bigger, faster, stronger, whatever in college, right? And then it becomes your mind that comes to the next level, right? So for your talent level, what did you end up like favoring as your secret weapon when you were young to like start polishing?
Dude, honestly, man, I had a lot. I had my talent is kind of like more I don't know. It's more like coordination and like doing
Okay.
stuff, like being athletic,
Mm-hmm.
just like kind of getting the job done somehow.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Like for instance, like basketball, I was good at like creating space and driving to the hole.
Right.
I wasn't. I'm slow. Like you guys could probably burn me in a sprint. Like I ran. There was one 60 yard, and like I'm embarrassed to say this. Like I ran a 60 yard in high school. It was against the wind, so it was gonna be
Okay.
slow. It was
Uh-huh.
it was like a 9.5. It's
Interesting.
slow. But my fastest one was like 7.4.
Okay. No. I
That's
think
not that
that's
fast.
solid.
That's not that fast. That was way
Solid.
too low too.
It's
We
solid.
take your best here.
Dude,
We
no
take
one
your
needs to
best
know
here. No,
that.
yeah. Hey, cut the feed. Cut the feed. They don't have to hear that part. Yeah.
Yeah,
Got the fast one.
I wasn't blessed with like fast twitch, which
Mm-hmm.
goes a long way with pitching.
Mm.
But I've always had like a little bit of coordination and like I can make plays like in the infield,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff. Like I was good at just reacting. Like I had that instinct reacting. But another thing I was good at like working. Like
There you go.
just dude, and in high school I had a bucket of balls and I had a mound and I had a target and I would be out there all day just trying to perfect the craft.
Is that you or a little bit of your dad or like you and your
Oh,
brother? I don't know.
my dad, I wouldn't be here unless it was with unless
Hmm.
my dad helped me. I wouldn't like. Well, one, he provided the like. I don't know if you ever heard of the baseball house.
Oh yeah, I think I I have.
Yeah, we had that. We had that. Like I had a backyard at the baseball house. I had a
Mhm.
mound and I could go there and throw every day. So I was able to train.
Mhm.
But you could do that on. You can find ways to train without
Right.
like at a park, whatever.
Mhm.
Um, but that the convenience of the training was
Mhm.
great. And then he never really played. He played in high school like for like JV, and then
Mhm.
but what he did, he was really good at learning
Mm.
and
Mm.
researching, and
Mhm.
and he would do the research and put in the work and
Mhm.
learn, and then he would
Mhm.
teach it to me, and he was good at teaching too.
Pass it
Mm.
on
He
to
still
you.
does. He still helps me to this day.
Wow.
Um, we talk about pitching all the time, like over
Mhm.
text. Like it's brought us very close over the years, but yeah,
Shut-
that's one of the things I'm good at is working, putting in the work.
Shout out Papa
Shout out to
Hernandez.
I was
Shout
gonna shout
out.
out to Mr. Hernandez, the true parental support, and
MVP.
Mrs. Hernandez.
MVP.
Yeah.
MVP.
So your secret weapon was coordination, right? And you knew how to mechanically get to like each part and just grinding it out, right? And that goes along with what you said at the very beginning of the episode, or the interview, which is repetition.
Yeah.
Keep doing it, and you're gonna get that muscle memory. And then when you finally come to these situations, you're not going to think about it. You're just going to do it, right?
Yeah, your bet. I feel like your best performances.
Mm-hmm.
This goes with everyone. I've heard Kobe Bryant talk about this.
Ooh, here we go.
Is when you're just flowing through it.
Yeah.
You're just reacting. You're not really
Yeah.
thinking about what you're doing.
Flow state.
Instincts kicking in. Yep, that flow state.
Mhm.
I've noticed that too.
I definitely agree.
That just happens. You can't expect it to happen every time.
Mhm. Did you? Well, when you say that, do pitchers, because like you are on the mound by yourself, do y'all have to run the defense kind of like if this happens, or everyone's supposed to already know their stuff? I assume that's the case,
Everyone
right?
knows their stuff.
Okay, cool. I was just like thinking in my head.
Football, like
Mhm.
we don't really practice that much like together like as a team, like in like high school we would do like bunt coverages and all that.
Uh-huh.
We do a little bit of that still, but like everyone we've all played the game so long, so you
Yeah.
kind of just know what to do, and everyone
Right.
just knows what to do, and
Mhm.
just show up and play. You play 140 games in the minor leagues, you play 160 in the big leagues.
Jesus.
God
That's
damn.
regular season games, so you're playing every night. Like
Yep.
you want to beat down your body or mind practicing too much,
True. I was
We
just I
still
only,
practice. Yeah, we still practice, but it's more practicing your craft. So like pitchers,
Okay.
we have a throwing program where we practice like keep our
Mhm.
arms in shape and practice our pitches, and then hitters they hit in the cage a lot on the field,
Hmm.
ground balls, all that.
I just asked that because it's just like I guess in other sports sometimes like I guess like you have even if you have a young guy, like they may not know what y'all want to do, right? Like
Yeah.
let's say in basketball or football. I mean, you've seen like quarterbacks or like point guards or somebody say like, "Dude, what are you doing, bro? Like we're supposed to be doing this." Like, then you're definitely in the wrong spot. I don't know, and I just wonder if baseball was like that. But thank you for clarifying that. Now we got a insider perspective of how baseball is, my friend.
Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day with like quarterbacks. Like these guys
Mhm.
got to be intelligent. Like they can't just be a meathead out there. They gotta their minds got to be sharp.
Yeah, for
'Cause
sure.
they gotta react to defenses. Like Tom
Uh-huh.
Brady, he was known for like putting countless hours of
Yeah,
studying.
meticulous for
Yeah.
sure.
So
So
yeah, I had a couple questions for you here. So like, say like, like obviously we just mentioned it. It's a long season, right? So the long season, you gotta keep your mental up or whatever, right? Are there like certain rituals that you guys participate in as a team, right? Whether it's like when you're winning or against like the opponent rival team or something, or does anything change when like you're doing worse or better? Like say you're like on a loss streak, how do you guys keep your mental up? And then like if you're on a win streak, how do you make sure that it doesn't like get to you or something? Like I mean, again, long season, right? So what's you guys' vibe like? Like how does that work?
Um. Yeah, it's a long season, but like every once in a while, if you're like there's like some of those times where everyone has a bad game.
Yeah, fair.
Everyone like is in the same boat, and
Mm-hmm.
like you kind of just go out as a team and
Yeah,
reset,
yeah.
loosen up, stuff like that.
Go for
Nothing
drinks.
crazy. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, it's a long season, and like getting towards the end of the season, you get like that. You start thinking about like, oh man, what am I gonna do when I get home in the
Yeah,
off season, the first week?
yeah.
You can't think of it like that, like because I've seen so many guys like they have great stats throughout the year, and they kind of check
They
out those
they
last
tail off.
three
Yeah,
weeks.
yeah.
Can't let that happen. You got to finish strong.
Hmm.
That's that those last 3 weeks is a mental grind, especially if
Oof.
your stats are really good and you want to keep them there. You're
Yeah.
like, man, just one more week of like performing well.
Like close
It's
out the
mentally
season.
draining,
Yeah.
man.
Mm.
Mentally draining.
Yeah, because I mean, like, I don't know, like most of us, if not all of us, have like gone through school or gone through like work or whatever. There's always ups and downs, like in a semester or something like that, for example, or like say like during work, like you're on a project or you're coming off a project or whatever. So there's always like ups and downs, and everybody's going through that, right? But then I guess like in baseball, it's like very acute, right? Like and it's like scheduled, right? So I don't know. I was just like thinking like maybe these kind of things might be like play a role throughout a season or something like that, right? And I didn't know like, is there a way for you to like, we've talked about the more like short term like ability to like deal with these stressors, but like I guess this is over like maybe a much longer term, a season, a year, a career, even, right? Like how do you like just keep your edge? Do you have any ideas on that?
Um, Definitely routine, and I
Yeah.
think a big thing is sleep.
Mm.
Getting your sleep in.
I love that. That's good. I like sleeping.
No matter how much they think you're a scumbag for sleeping in, like sleep is crucial. Like I like waking. I love waking up early and being productive, but
Yeah.
if you do that during the season, like it's gonna take a toll.
Mm. I can see that for sure. Okay.
I'm probably gonna be in Sugarland this year, so
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna be living at home. My wife, she gets up early for work, so
Uh
I'm gonna have those blackout curtains.
huh.
Like, I'm sleeping in at like 10, 11. Like
Forget about the alarms. Hit that snooze button even
yeah.
after that point, right?
Wake
Like,
up, cook a little breakfast, make that coffee, and
hey,
head to the ballpark.
listen, man. If you're
I'm back.
waking up for breakfast, you're already doing it wrong. How about you wake up for lunch? How about that? Like instead of you just skip
Oh
Yeah.
breakfast entirely.
god.
That's breakfast. 1 o'clock.
Hit us
One
up for
o'clock.
brunch sometime, man. We should go get some brunch on your off season, man. So,
Dude.
I'm
From
down.
what you said,
First watch.
first
uh,
watch.
I
First
feel
watch.
like you were telling me like basically make sure you're coming to whatever your job is, whether it be baseball, normal office job, whatever it may be. But come in at your best state, basically, right?
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
don't come in at anything less, I guess. And that's something I only learned recently, kind of too, because I used to just like force myself. And I don't know about you, back when we were like in high school sports or maybe in collegiate sports, sometimes it was just like we're on that grind mentality and we thought like, oh, everyone's kind of doing it. So we kind of sometimes don't give ourselves that time to rest or go. I don't know about you. Maybe it was just me, but that's kind of what I felt when I was in college football. Sometimes, like I didn't have time to sometimes give myself time to rest. It's just like you got people that your coaches say can't replace you because like even if you're hurt, but it's just like, bro, I'm literally like on one leg right now. Can somebody please just come in for me instead, dude?
Yeah, like thankfully in college, like you're 21 years old, so you're recovering way better.
Uh-huh.
You don't get as much sleep. Yeah, that college schedule, that college schedule was brutal. Like I remember that. We had stuff from like 6 a.m. to like 8 p.m. It's like a full-time job.
Jesus.
You did 2-a-days, right? I'm assuming.
We had stuff all day. We had like we had that mental training sometimes like for like 4 hours a day.
Mental training. So
Like mental, like the Brian Kane guy I was talking about.
Right. The sports psychologist or mental coach.
Would come in and like have like a presentation, stuff like that. We would have like we'd have to like chalk down study hall hours.
Mm-hmm.
Like you got class on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta make sure you're getting all your meals in, and then practice all that stuff. You know,
that's crazy.
It's
hectic schedule.
definitely rough. It's when you have like no time to think almost. It's just like you're just like hitting every like event that's on your calendar or your schedule basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of makes me think of like, back then, did you have time for the passions that you got now? Because I believe you told me some of your passions are golf, you got into crypto, and you do some woodworking, right? So like, did you find these back then, or is it like later on you finally found time after this busy ass college season?
Yeah. This is after. This is like golf and like I don't know. I just like ever since I got a house, I like just like fixing stuff and building stuff. Like I rebuilt my fence. I loved it. Like having that feeling of like building something and like seeing it finished and like doing it right.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the golf. Yeah, golf's more for off season. Even now, like it's hard to find time to golf.
How about this? Manual labor is therapeutic, right? Like I don't know if you guys agree with that statement, but
Yeah, I think everyone needs to try to do manual labor. It does something like it just does something to your like our brain
mind.
that we're made to do.
like it's satisfying. I don't know what it is. It's just
Yeah.
satisfying.
I feel like
It's like the
also,
ultimate. It's like the ultimate like discipline, you know?
Yeah.
I think it's like similar to what you were saying about like when you get out of your comfort zone and do something that you don't like, kind of like let's say it's running, right? And for me, if it's long distance, I was semi blessed with a fast twitch muscle, so that's what I go to, right? But if it's like marathon running, I honestly want to kill myself. Yes. Oh yes, dude,
Yeah.
it's rough. But like for what you said, the physical labor and maybe like something like that, like it's if when you finish it though, it feels amazing. Like I forgot what it is, like a 2K or whatever, like not a marathon or half marathon, the thing below it. Basically, I ran that before a couple times in high school and I
10K,
hated
right?
it.
Yeah.
But I felt really happy after finishing it. Kind of similar to what you said, maybe when you do your woodworking or something, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, like I didn't grow up being like learning how to build. Like I have a buddy who's really good at that stuff. I'll just tell him like what I want to build. They'll be like, all right, let's go to Home Depot. He'll just we'll buy everything, and I'm like, dude, where do we start? Like, and then you just do it. Like,
Yeah.
you just learn as you go. It's fun.
That's awesome. That's actually awesome.
'Cause it's like intimidating, like seeing like where to start, like projects like that, you know?
Because it looks like nothing, right? Or like you see the product, but you're like, I don't know how I'm gonna get it to there.
Exactly.
My man is like Michelangelo with a piece of marble, man. He's just carving it out. He's like, this is beautiful.
Nah.
To visualize it, right? Like it's just like the heat map, right? You guys got to visualize what's gonna happen. You got to make it happen. Execution.
Yeah. That crypto too. It's like I do it year round, but like during the season, I try to like kind of get out of it a little bit because that stuff will consume you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Especially if it's like popping off.
Yes.
Like constantly looking at it, like, oh,
Yeah.
what do I do? Like making
Yeah.
moves and stuff.
Yeah, it's volatile, man.
And that'll take away from baseball. Basically, it could, maybe,
Yeah.
unless you're like really good. But
It's a good little hobby though to get my mind off. You know, that's huge too. Finding things that you also got to be able to. When it's time to.
What coin
Get
are
mine
you
off of
into?
things.
What coin are you into right now, Mr. Nick?
A lot of guys play video games for that. I know a lot of gamers in baseball. Maybe I need to start doing that. Get a PS5 or something.
Yeah, you
yeah,
should.
whatever floats your boat, whatever can get you, like you said, in that best mental or like best mind state, body state, or that flow state that you always mention, like when you could just flow and do everything, that animal instinct comes out. Whatever can get you back into that state more often, go for it.
Dude, yeah, I like the gamers I know. Like they're very competitive. I think gaming, if you're trying to win, it's you train yourself to be a better competitor.
Yes.
So that could transfer to the field too.
For sure. No, for sure.
Trying
Actually,
to win. It's no different than playing ping pong and just trying to win.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, you get to
I definitely agree.
competitive ping pong, right? Like, you keep going. Right?
Real quick, do you got any before we like finish, like, do you have like a super interesting story, or do you have a story that you want to hear from him?
Yeah, we'd love to know. So, are there any stories that we missed? Anything that you
you
wanted
hear-
to share? Like, I don't know.
Do you hear it, dude?
Oh,
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh.
I don't hear.
you don't hear me?
Okay, yeah, I didn't
Hello?
hear him
Hello?
right now.
Yes, no?
Maybe he is having technical difficulties right
Hello?
now.
Uh-oh.
But I guess I'll finish asking that question. Are there any stories that you have like from your pro experience or like your experience in general of like what is it like either on the big stage or like something that like was so different or so out there that you never expected to experience
Mic check.
within your pro career? I don't know, meeting like a pro player that you never did, or like when you threw a ball that you never even planned, or like you worked with your catcher and like I don't know, I've wondered this, like do catchers and pitchers sometimes, like I know y'all call like what pitch that you might want to throw, but then at the same time it's just like what if you chose like, oh, I'm feeling this, dude, right before you throw something else and he's like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, there's pitchers that cross catchers up.
Okay.
Yeah, you could shake off your catcher and then give up a bomb home run. And then your catcher's just like, I told you. Oh, I don't know. Let me think of a story. Something crazy. There's a lot of like in baseball, like I don't know if you like brawls.
I
Bench
mean,
brawls.
I haven't seen it in a minute, but I think I have. Like, have you been a part of one?
I haven't been in a brawl, but we've like cleared benches and like
Oh my
Okay.
God.
we're about to settle something, you know. You back on?
Yeah, you hear me?
We hear him now. Yeah, we hear
Hey,
you now.
okay. I don't know
Yeah,
why. I
he's
don't have no
back.
idea what that was, but did wait, so you're okay. This is interesting. So you're out here like you're getting ready to throw hands, huh? Talk about Conor McGregor, man. You out there throwing hands?
You know,
No one's actually ever really about it, you know. Like
Yeah.
there's some guys that'll yeah. There's, I mean, like for instance, like I'm trying to give y'all an example.
Okay.
Like say say a pitcher. The craziest thing I've seen in baseball is CC Sabathia I wasn't even part of it. CC Sabathia was the Yankees playing the
Uh-huh.
Rays.
Yep.
Okay.
And so with CC's contract, if he pitched 7 innings that game,
Uh-huh.
he would get a 500K bonus or something like that.
Incentives.
Like an MLB pension, something weird on the
Incentives.
contract.
Uh-huh.
He's been in the big leagues for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And the inning before that, the Rays pitcher, or no, he hit it. CC Sabathia, the ball slipped out of his hand. He hit a guy in like the shoulder or
Oh
something.
shit.
And the Rays pitcher retaliated and hit the other guy, and they kind of just said a few words. CC Sabathia comes out that next inning, and it's like he has like one more inning to throw to get that 500K bonus.
Right.
He says, "No, screw that. I'm gonna retaliate," and he knows he'll get rejected if he hits the guy. He says, "Nah, I don't care about that 500K. I'm gonna hit this guy." Drills a guy right in the ribs.
Oh my god.
It's just clear. CC Sabathia gets ejected. He just walks off like,
Yeah.
screw that 500K. I don't need that. Like,
Yeah.
Would you
That is
pay?
crazy.
Would you pay $500,000 to mess somebody up just because they messed your boy up, or it would just didn't? It just happened that way.
No comment.
I don't know, man. Like, I don't have $500,000 right now. So
Nick's like, yeah, no.
I'm out right now. I mean, maybe if I was CC Sabathia,
Yeah, if
I
you-
would have 50 mil in the bank.
Yeah, I mean, if you were CC, you might think a little bit differently, right? But not this
Right.
time, right? But yeah, I feel that. That's
That's
hilarious.
just yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
man. So we're kind of coming to a close, but one last question for you. I don't know. Have you ever had any injuries or rehab, and like, what was that like, especially mentally? But like, of course, physically, what was that like for you? Was like recovery wise, or were you able to recover easily?
So I had Tommy John, which is
You had it too?
everyone
Could-
gets it. It's crazy.
Okay.
But yeah, that's Tommy John. That's all mental because
Oh,
when you're out of baseball for a year, it's a 12-month rehab process.
shit, that's a long time.
It's a whole season. You're missing a whole season.
Yeah.
So, one, you're missing a whole season, so you're watching all these guys pass you up, take your spot, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And you're in the rehab. You're showing up to rehab every day, do some shoulder exercises. You're restricted with all your movements. So it's mentally tough. Like, I mean, it's just like, it sucks,
Mhm.
And you're doing it, and your elbow doesn't feel the same. It's like you're psyched out. Like, you don't know.
Right.
You're constantly like,
Yeah.
am I all right? Like,
Right.
am I showing up to the ballpark every day doing my exercises, and then my elbow's gonna be messed up when I throw again? Still, stuff like that. Like, that was a hard process. Rehab. Then
What?
coming back was even harder because like you kind of forget how to pitch. So kind of had the season I came back from Tommy John, like I wasn't the same. Like I forgot how to forgot myself, like who I was as a pitcher. It took a while to get that back.
That's
I had
crazy.
like a mediocre season.
Talking about that rhythm, talking about
Was this
that
pro
identity.
ball or was this college?
Yeah, this is a
Sorry.
pro ball. This is a pro ball.
Okay.
They don't the organization doesn't really look at you the same. They don't, because you were hurt for a year. You kind of
Yeah.
it's a lot. Like it's
They're like the
baseball business is
Yeah.
it's cutthroat, man.
Yeah. Absolutely.
The only thing that matters is results,
yeah.
and then you might be chosen. Like it's
Might.
crazy.
Might. Oh man.
Like all those doubts, right? Like, oh, he was injured whole last year. He hasn't played for a year, right? Like, and then you come back. It's like, guys, nothing changed. I'm still me, right? But then you got to go out there and prove it, huh? So it's just
Yeah,
like,
you gotta go reclaim your
oh,
spot.
that's so tough, man. So, I can see how they could
It's
play with you.
just. But I mean, you can't. I mean, you can't get mad. It's all just money. You know,
it's business. Exactly. Yeah. So that's a real tough pill to swallow, no matter what, though, right? Like, I mean, like if you're hitting the rhythm and then like you get hurt, I mean, that's just how I guess that's how it breaks, right? But you gotta like I
Yeah.
guess come through that. So okay,
Yeah, but
so
I'm glad I get to experience it because
yeah,
like I feel like it's gonna prepare me for everything I need to do in life.
For sure.
Like it's all about perspective. Like you gotta look at it as like training ground, you know?
hmm. How long of a recovery was that for you? You said was that a year for you?
12 months.
It's
12 months?
12 months, so
Mm.
it's like you start tossing the ball in like 5 months, I think, and then
Uh-huh.
you build up to like bullpens and throwing to hitters in like 12 months, and then
But when did you feel yourself?
like I got TJ in 20. I got TJ in
Okay.
Okay.
April 2nd, 2018.
Hmm.
Okay.
I don't think I felt myself until
20.
like 2020.
Oh my
2
goodness.
years. Yeah.
2 years.
'Cause-
And then we had 2020. We didn't have a season,
COVID.
so
Yeah.
I guess not till 2021. So
Yeah.
Damn.
Long
Because
road.
like hell, I mean, not to your degree because you're in pro ball, but tearing ACL, like I didn't feel myself till like maybe 2 years later. But I wasn't even like as crazy of an athlete as I was previously. But like I just became way smarter, mentally tougher, like you said, and
yeah,
it probably
there you go. You
prepares
know
you a
how
lot
it
for
is.
life, right? Yeah, I do. So like when you were telling me your story, I was just like, ah, yes, Nick, that's what I like to hear. That this guy got what it takes.
Hmm.
Yeah, like that. How long is the rehab for ACL?
So I mean, pros these days can do it super fast, man. Like they'd be coming back in
Yeah,
like six
they got
months or
so
something.
many.
Yeah. But
Dude, it's an epidemic in the NFL. Like
mhm.
ACLs left and
non-contact
right.
ACL injuries,
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
non-contact too.
yeah,
Well, that's
Like
how
even Odell
ACLs
Beckham the
are.
other day.
Yeah, that's how the ACLs are mostly. If I'm this is anecdotal, but like I think pretty sure ACLs are like a lot of like the worst knee injuries you can get are like almost always non-contact. When you see somebody hit like knee to knee or something, it's probably like a bone bruise or it's like worse, it's a fracture. That's like 4 6 weeks, right? But then you look at like ACLs, ligament tears. You talk about tendons, these kind of like connective tissue disease like injuries. Those are like truly like long term injuries.
Yeah,
And Tommy John's, I just like looked at it just to be sure, but it's the ulnar collateral ligament, the UCL of the elbow, right? And that's a
it's like
ligament
something similar.
connective tissue. So yeah, it's basically the ACL of the elbow, right? Like so, like I mean,
yep, exactly.
that's it's
Damn, that put that in perspective for me.
I
And
mean,
like that's a pretty important part, though.
effing rough, dude. Yeah.
Think about it. The people overlook it. Most underrated stat in all sports: staying healthy.
Yes,
You know
Think
what
about
they
yes,
it. Like
you know what they
to
say
stay
the
healthy, you're constantly getting better. You're
yep,
constantly going up. You're
yep.
constantly moving up the ranks.
Hmm. And then
Everyone
yeah,
overlooks it.
yeah. So what I heard, and again, it's cutthroat, but is the best ability is availability, right? That's what they say. So
Yep, I've heard that plenty of times. And
that's tough, right? So I mean, but like yeah, so injury is part of the game, right? And sometimes we wanted to relate that back to esports. Probably people are tired of us shouting out by now, but we're going to be having a PT on here, talking about injuries, talk about recovery, and so we wanted to make sure that everybody stays healthy, and if they do get hurt, that they can help themselves back, right? Like get themselves back to the place that they
the
were,
rehab.
find themselves back like Nick did to being themselves, right? Because can't be doubting your own body, otherwise, that's your mind body connection right there is severed, right? Like if you can't trust your body to hold up underneath anything,
that's
right?
why you got to take notes.
Hey, there you
Mm,
go. Take them notes, right?
you
Take
can take
notes
my
after
notes.
good performances, and then go over those notes
Yes, sir.
later. They'll always be there for you. Like put them in the iCloud. Put them in the cloud.
Put them in the cloud. Put them in the
This
cloud. Store them up
guy's
in the cloud. In the
smart as
brain in the
hell.
cloud. Yeah, dude. You gotta stay
But
mental too, right?
again, Nick, thank you for coming on and giving us your insights, whether it be for esports or traditional sports, and giving us a little insider talk on how the pro league is for baseball.
Absolutely. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me. I'll be watching you guys in
Yeah,
the future.
super much appreciated, Nick. Everything you said so far, we had like a great conversation. Everything that you've said so far has been like eye opening. You taught us a lot, and you know, like everything that you've been mentioning, we'll certainly look into, and we'd love to explore this even deeper. We'd love to have you back, even if you like, you know, whenever you have
The
time.
next season or something.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
whenever you're off. Yeah.
also, before you go, though, I need to ask: do you got a shout out to either Papa Hernandez, Connor, or like anybody else? What do you got going on? If you want to shout something out, or like the two sports psychologists you said you worked with,
Let us know.
whoever
Let us
you want
know.
to shout out. Yeah,
Let us
let us know.
Uh, I don't know, man. I don't have too many. I can't think of anyone right now. But
Your wife supports
Put you on the
shout out,
spot.
shout out my wife, so she's not mad at me for
Happy Valentine's Day. If he was late on it, happy Valentine's Day. We got you, fam.
You always got to shout out the wife. You know, it makes life
For
a lot
sure.
easier.
Happy wife, happy life.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
all right, brother. Take care. And Adu has a little outro for you, I believe.
So I hit everybody up with the little outro every time. So Nick Hernandez, man, throwing him out with the strike. Thanks again for everybody hanging out with me and Mike. Everybody make sure to check us out at Full Tilt Esports Psych. Don't forget to hit us with the subscribe, the follow, and the like.
Hey,
Boom, mic drop.
bars,
So
bars.
thank you very much,
Subscribe.
everybody, for being there. So if you were ever embarrassed about having to go up there in front of you, drew the short straw in your clubhouse, and you had to like go out with there with the hit him with the rap single, like you gotta throw out the freestyle. I could be the ringer for you. I could come in for you just in case. You know what I'm saying? But Nick, thank you so much, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Please, as I said, like, subscribe, follow, right? All right, Full Tilt Esports Psych out. We're fully tilted here. Everybody, see you later.
Bye.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks,
All
Nick.
right.